Bobby died at a young age, 14, in a hunting accident. So none of us really got to know him. But we want to honor him here today also. So we're going to start off with Aunt Esther's family. She has 2 children, Donna and Mark. So Donna,
Yes.
where are you? Can you stand up? And can you introduce your husband?
Richard.
Right here.
Well, anyway, he's back there. He's the stubborn one. And then they have a son, Jason, and this is Jason over here. And Jason, do you want to introduce your family?
Hello. So this is my wife, Kara, my daughter, Ashlyn, and son, Connor.
And where do you live?
We live in Fort Collins.
Okay. And Donna and Mark live in Loveland, right?
Yes.
And then Mark,
Over here.
I mean, Donna Richard.
Well, Mark was kind of.
Hello, I'm Mark Esther's son, my lovely wife Karen, and we have 2 sons, our oldest son Brad, our youngest son Jeremy, and Brad's fiance will be his wife next month. And Jeremy's wife, they've been married 4 years now, Casey, no grandchildren.
Mark, you didn't tell him Rebecca's name.
I'm sorry.
That's Rebecca.
Yeah, I thought I did because I mentioned. Okay, Rebecca,
There you go.
Brad's fiance, again, getting married next month.
Thank you.
now if I forget people along the way, please let me know. I tried to make a little list, but can't guarantee it. So that takes care of Esther's immediate family. But the Tillman side of the family is here. So I don't know how to do this. Is it Doug that?
Doug, get up.
I'm sorry, Doug.
Somebody throwed me under the bus. And
And
what do you want to
We
know?
want to know who you are, how you're related to Esther, and
My mom was Esther's, her husband Vince, and my mom were brother and sister. So that's how that family goes. I'm Doug, the oldest out of that family. My mom and dad are gone now too. My brother Dale and his wife Honor sat here, and his sister Dawn and her husband Trevor. My baby brother Dan, and his wife Renee. Dale's daughter, what's her name? Abby. And her husband Josh. I'm sorry. The bus ran over me. So this is my wife Connie.
where are y'all from?
We're from Wayne. Dawn and Trevor are from Firth, Nebraska. I'm sorry, Wayne, Nebraska is where we're from. Abby and Josh are from Wakefield. Dale, Moner, and Kai and I are from Wayne. Dan and Renee are at Laurel, Nebraska. So,
And they're all farmers?
Dale and I farm. Dawn does paperwork.
You're important.
She's important. Abby does paperwork. Josh drives a truck. Dan works on trucks. Renee manages him. I guess I will.
Okay,
Very good.
thank you so much, and thank you guys for from Nebraska. That's great, thank you so much for
I'm sure
coming.
we're not the farthest ones away.
I don't know, we'll find out.
Okay.
So, that's Esther's, basically, her family. And then comes ST. Now, ST stands for Shirley Tertius.
No, Thomas.
Thomas. Yeah, Yeah.
What's his grandfather's name?
Shirley Thomas.
Shirley Thomas.
And he didn't like to be called Shirley, so we called him ST. And I just found out that that's because Shirley was kind of an English name for men, but when Shirley Temple came along, everybody named their daughters Shirley. So then he didn't like it at all. So I'm going to start with Linda. She is the oldest, and you can introduce your husband.
My name's Linda Robinson, and this is my husband, Robbie, and we live in Nebraska City, Nebraska. And I'm the oldest grandchild out of everybody, as Donna pointed out. And I also got the name she was supposed to be named, so.
Oh, really?
Yes,
Oh, I didn't know that.
Esther like Linda, but I came before Donna, so.
Well, Donna's a nice name.
Yes, I said Donna's a wonderful name.
What's your middle?
My middle name's Ann.
Okay, hers is Lynn.
What's yours, Don?
And this is my sister Sharon.
You can keep that.
Okay, this is my sister Sharon. And, stand up. And her husband Byron. And they live in Ottawa, Iowa. And then we had a younger sister, Nancy. And she lived in Sioux City, Iowa, but she passed away from cancer 11 years ago. So, it's just the two of us now, so. And none of the kids came, it was just Sharon and I that are here.
Sharon, why don't you tell them about your side of your family?
We have a son, Jeff, and he's a superintendent at Mapleton, Iowa. Of schools, yeah, superintendent of schools. And they have 3 kids. Ben, that's, will be a junior at Northwestern in Orange City. Joe is going to be a sophomore at Iowa, and their daughter Kate is, will be a freshman in high school next year. They're all busy with school and sports and everything. And Byron and I are just enjoying our retirement and traveling and everything, so.
Where do you live?
Oh, Ottawa, Iowa.
Tell them how supposed your grandson is.
Oh, Ben is 6'5" and Joe's 6'4". Their dad's 6'3", so it's getting taller. And we're not sure about Kate yet. But she's getting up there too, so. I think that came from the Skidmore side, they're tall.
Well, both their parents are tall.
Yeah, they are, yes.
Okay, so that's ST's family.
Oh, and Nancy had 3 kids.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and then our sister Nancy has three kids, and, let's see, Brian, Lori, and Shelley, and each one of them has 3 kids. Lori has 2, and they're Des Moines, Sioux City, and LeClaire, Iowa, so, and they, we all get together quite often.
They're very fortunate to have a lot of family
Yes.
around, as is Esther. She has all of her family around her, and that's so neat. Well, then we come down to Benjamin William Skidmore Jr. And he was my dad and Diane's dad. Where's Bill? And Benjamin the third. So I'll start since I'm the oldest. I'm Jane, and Jim is my husband back there. We lived in Colorado for 44 years, and we retired to Arizona, Sun City, West Arizona. So we came up and are visiting family mostly. And our oldest daughter is Jill, and I'll let you introduce her.
I'm Jill. This is my husband Doug, and then my daughter Jordan over there, and her husband Kyle, and my grandbabies Barrett and Paxton are over there. And then we also have a son named Kyle, and he's got a fiance named Susie, and fur babies.
Lots of fur babies.
Okay, And Joy.
Hi, I'm Joy. My husband Matt's not here. We live in Golden, just down the road a little bit. I have my oldest daughter Brittany, her husband Mac, my grandson Arthur, and then I have Megan, my youngest. So.
And then we have a stepbrother, Bill, Diane, and I here, Mylan. And this is our mom's husband's son. Merle was her husband, second husband. And Mylan just recently moved to Colorado. He's living in Longmont now. And are you building now, or
I'm a contractor, yeah.
for cabinets, or any kind of stuff?
Remodeling.
Okay, so if anybody needs remodeling. I got a plug in for you. Where are we at here? Yes.
Okay. So, my name is Diane, and I'm Ben and Orly's second daughter. Means my sister, obviously. And I have my son Joel, his wife Jacqueline. They both live in San Juan Capistrano, California. And then my daughter Cam, who lives in Long Beach, California. Cam is a teacher, Joel has a lighting business, and Jacqueline is also an educator. And you're, tell me, is it a homeschool principal, or here, you tell them what it is. Well, anyway, she's high up in education. And I guess she just got a promotion, so congratulations. So that's, we've introduced Mylan, so that's my family.
Okay.
And I live in Sioux Falls, South Dakota.
And they have 3 sons.
Oh, that's right, I forgot that. Okay, so Joel has 3 sons, Samuel, JB, Luke. Samuel has Savannah and Gigi, they're his significant other, and his daughter. And then Cam, my daughter, has Tyson, her husband's name is Damon, and then Cameron is her other son, and they are 12 and 14. And big into basketball, all 3 of those. But Damon used to play basketball, I gotta brag a little bit, but he played basketball for USC back in his days, so I think the boys are gonna pattern after their dad. There you go. Oh, I'm sorry, Paul. Paul, I'm so sorry. And this is my very good significant other, Paul Ortman, from Sioux Falls as well, and he came for this, and he was very excited to meet Aunt Esther finally. So, anyway, okay, thanks for that.
Not the last but not the least, huh?
And I'm Bill Skidmore. My father and I had the same name, Benjamin William Skidmore. And so he went by Ben, and I went by Bill. But I think I was
Billy.
Yeah, Billy.
Sharon, I'll always be Billy. Now you are gonna come. I'll pay you back for that. But I was telling somebody that I live in South Bend, Indiana, and I have one son who lives in Indianapolis, Indiana, so he's only a couple hours from me. And about 6 weeks ago, I became a grandfather. So my first, little boy, Carson, and so I make a beeline down to Indy now, just about every week, it seems like. But anyway, that's it. I only have one child.
And Taylor lives in Fishers, Indiana.
Yeah. Indiana.
Okay, did we miss anybody? Everybody's covered here? Okay, well, we're gonna turn this over to Esther. And she is, were you going to read something, or? Oh, just questions. So we're gonna open it, I guess, up to questions about her life. I mean, and she's 100 years old. Can you imagine back in 1923 what the world was like then compared to now? So why don't you just tell us some of the changes that you've seen through your years to begin with?
Well, I especially remember my dad coming in from an airplane flew over. That was a great experience to see an airplane. And I was telling the girls yesterday, my grandfather Marquis died when I was 5 years old. And we took Grandma to Springfield, Illinois that summer. And in an old car, and I was telling you, as I remember there were flaps that rolled up. And can you imagine 3 kids, a grandma, and mother and dad in that car going across Iowa into Illinois in the summertime?
No easy.
Kids said, when are we gonna get there? And of course, we lived on the farm, and Diane did not realize that we lived on the farm that they grew up in. And then when I was in college, I came home 2 or 3 weeks after I'd been in college. I came home and they moved to town.
Did you
Dad
find?
had gone to town and he was talking to the lumberyard man, and he said, Ben, I've got a house for sale. He didn't inherit it, and I don't want it. I'll sell it to you for $2,000. Dad went home, got Mother, came in, looked at the house. It was a beautiful old home, beautiful woodwork,
Yes,
and they bought it.
yeah.
So they were all moved in when I came home.
Had no say in it, huh?
Well,
How did you meet Vince?
I miss meet Vince. My roommate and I had gone downtown in Wayne on a Saturday night. It was in the wintertime, and it was cold. And we were walking back to the campus. It was a mile. And this car stopped. And Eddie got up. We knew Eddie. And he said, how about a ride up to the campus? And we said, yes. He said, Esther, you get in the front with Vince. And I did. And they took us up to the campus in front of the dorm. We sat and visited a little bit. And the boys walked us up to the door. And when we went in, I said, oh, I really liked him. I wondered if he'd call me. He did the next day. And that's the reason we're Of course, he had to go into the service. And he was in Europe, and we wrote every day. So,
A love story.
yeah, it was a love story. And you know, he came home and he said, let's burn your letters. And I let him. Now I wish I had them. Oh, my dad buying a radio. Yes, we were on the farm. And Dad came home with a Zenith. You kids probably saw it in there. Yeah, that big Zenith radio.
Yeah.
Right?
It cost $100. And Mother had a bet.
That was a lot of money back then.
Yeah, that was a lot of money. And I think, what did he sell? Did he sell a cow or some pigs or what? But anyway, yeah. Any questions you have in mind?
Esther, as I recall as a child, Grandpa bought one of the first color television sets too. Do you remember that?
Yeah, well, didn't he have one of the first televisions in town?
Yeah, color
Oh.
TV, not black and white,
Oh.
color.
Anyway,
Tell them what Grandpa did.
What your dad did for a living.
What did Grandpa do?
your grandpa?
Yeah.
My dad?
Yeah, your dad
Well, he farmed.
farmed,
And then he bought the theater after he moved to town
right?
and ran the theater.
Yeah.
And us grandkids.
And
got
then-
free.
Yeah,
Free popcorn.
yeah, we got in free.
And then, I've lost my train of thought.
Sorry.
After the theater?
Yeah, oh, but then TV came in and everyone had TVs then.
Yeah,
And so the theater, and during the war, that theater was full every night.
yeah,
Yeah, people went to the movie.
yeah.
How much was it?
How much was it? 10 cents?
Oh, 35 cents for adults, 10 cents for kids. Yeah.
Another question back there?
Jocelyn has one.
Who?
I was just gonna ask, how did you get to Loveland?
How did you end up in Loveland?
Oh, we had just built a house in Wayne, and the company Vince was working for decided they were going to Florida. Well, I said, I don't want to go to Florida. That's too far from home. And we honeymooned in Denver around. And so Vince says, how about going to Denver, to Colorado? And that was okay. So he came out and got a job and got an apartment. And he came home and he says, and your church is just around the corner. That was the old church downtown. And, and so we moved to Loveland. And he worked for a construction company, and he built houses on the side. So we built 5 houses here in Loveland. I moved in, we lived in 3. We put up a set house, and whichever one sold, we either had to move or stay.
No kidding.
And the house I'm in now, it worked out real well because Vince and Mark spent a lot of time in the basement working, just different things. So, and we didn't have a basement on the house on 9th Street.
Right.
Mom,
So,
didn't Dad say didn't he go to Denver first?
yes, he went to
And
Denver
decided
first.
Denver was no place to raise a family.
That's right. He didn't think he wanted to raise a Denver. Denver was too big. You know, Wayne was about, what, 3,500 at that time.
And this was in the 1950s, right?
Yeah.
No place to raise a family.
And
Yeah.
Esther, how much did your house cost when you built it?
About around 12,000. I think the one we're in cost us about 13,000. He of course did a lot of the work,
Yeah.
plumbing, heating, wiring himself.
But you've been there since 1959, did you say?
59 in that house.
Wow.
Bill, you and your family came out on the house when we lived on Sheridan. And when you got out of the car, you won't remember this, you kicked Vince in the shin. He was about 2 years old.
That was an Iowa welcome back then. Hi, I'm from Iowa.
He was tired of that car.
Yeah. I was very expressive.
And at that time, Vince smoked cigars. And Bill hounded him to give him a taste of that cigar. And so he did. And you took a puff, and I don't think did you ever smoke?
No.
That cured him.
Had two, that's it.
Anybody else? Anything?
Any of the Spars, do you have any questions about your grandparents? Because I'm the last one.
Any questions anybody has? She's the one.
Well, only because the ranch,
Yeah,
okay, and there was a house there.
yes.
Was any of our family or your, well,
My great-grandparents.
your
lived there.
great-grandparents lived there?
Yes.
Okay.
And it was close enough to the Missouri River. The Indians used to come across when it was ice, and they would ask great-grandma for something to eat.
No kidding.
Uh-huh.
Wow.
That was the story I heard.
Yeah.
I didn't live it.
Yeah. I mean, when I was young, it was an abandoned house, but
Yeah.
I figured some of our ancestors.
Well, the Smiths lived there for years
Okay.
and farmed it.
Okay.
And that was Bill Smith, Mary,
Okay.
R.A.,
Yeah.
Mary Smith.
Gotcha.
Mhm. And she talked, at that time, there was a community building on the corner that Grandpa gave for the land, the land for it. And then there was a schoolhouse there. And that's where Mary taught school,
No kidding.
country school. Yeah.
Esther, how fast did that car go when you?
I have no idea.
You have no idea if it was?
I was 5 years old.
Yeah, okay, so you don't, okay.
No, but probably, I don't
30?
know.
30 miles an hour?
Oh,
More than that.
Linda has a question.
Since you were the only girl, were you ever teased by your brothers?
Since you were the only girl, were you ever teased by your brothers?
oh. I don't remember Shirley ever teasing me. But Ben and I, we played together, we loved each other, but we pulled each other's hair. And he said, I took a brick and slammed his truck and broke it. I don't remember doing that. But I remember Mother would set Ben in one corner of the living room and me in the other corner with our face to the wall.
Time out.
Time out. And then, of course, Bobby came along. I was 9. And he was my baby doll. I just loved him. And he was always such a sweet boy.
Yep.
Yeah. So,
Maybe tell how our ancestors went to California and struck gold.
oh, no. My great-grandfather, they lived in Wisconsin.
Right.
And he was 16 years old, and these men were going to Australia to look for gold.
Oh, it's Australia.
And he talked his parents into letting him go with them. I can't imagine.
16.
But he went with these men, and he found one gold nugget, which is in the family
Right.
somewhere.
Who has it? Who has that gold nugget?
Nobody's admitting to it.
My dad had it, and I think he gave it to Mark.
Oh, no, he didn't give it to Mark.
Uh-oh.
Mark's not gone.
Oh.
I thought maybe Jeff had it.
No, I'm sure.
Well, where is it?
Oh, the great family mystery.
I always thought you guys had it.
No.
I remember seeing it, so it does exist.
How big was it? Oh, really?
I mean, it was like this.
It's more than this.
Oh, no,
But,
no.
I mean, well, but
And it wasn't solid.
it wasn't
gold.
solid
No,
gold.
no, no,
It wasn't
no.
solid gold, but there was definitely gold in it.
Well, isn't
Yeah.
that funny?
Huh.
I don't know, I thought Jeff probably inherited it.
No,
Really?
because Dad didn't have it with him.
Okay.
Well,
Well, anyway.
That's it.
You never got it, Mark.
No.
so how did they?
Maybe he thought he was gonna give it to you, and didn't. But we haven't seen it.
For mystery murder.
Murder, yeah.
But anyway, where did he get the gold nugget?
In Australia.
So he did go to Australia.
Oh, yes.
Oh, wow.
Uh-huh, and I have a shawl that he brought home for his, he bought it in California, but he brought it home to his mother.
Okay.
A
But-
silk shawl.
But did he go to Australia and then to California? And then back?
Well, I don't really know.
Okay.
The story that Esther Evans wrote
Yeah.
said that he did go to California.
Yeah.
And
Right.
he met up with Indians that took him in and helped him. His moccasins, they gave him some moccasins.
You're telling me stories that I didn't know.
Well, it's in Esther Evans's book.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's interesting.
So did they make their money from gold to buy the farmland then?
Oh, no,
No.
no, no.
No, not
That
that
was
much.
homesteaded.
No,
That was all homesteaded?
Homesteaded,
Okay.
yeah.
no, they bought the,
Yeah.
Anybody else? Well, thank you for the memories.
well, thank you.
I was just gonna say, with 100 years, what has been the biggest change or invention that stuck out to you?
Cars.
You probably don't use the internet, so you don't really know
No, I
too
don't
much.
know any of that.
Yeah.
That would definitely be, but it was past me.
Cell phones, do you use a cell phone?
We had a telephone on the
Okay.
farm, but I never used it. I didn't like it.
Use mine.
Oh,
Yeah.
how about a cell phone? A cell phone? Like a
I have a cell phone,
Yeah, so you know how to use a cell phone.
yeah.
But when you were young, you had cars. When was the first time you remember riding in a car?
Oh, ever since I was little.
Okay, so you had
Yeah,
cars.
We always had a car. Uncle Gene and
Yeah.
Uncle Will
Yeah.
both sold cars in
Exactly.
Sioux City.
Right.
And they were always bringing a different car down for my dad to look at. And I remember one, it was an Essex. And I thought it was the ugliest car I ever saw. We went to town, I saw my teacher, and I ducked down in the back seat so she couldn't see me in that ugly car. I remember that.
Yeah. Well, Uncle Gene got me my first car.
Oh, he
He
did.
did.
And my first car.
We loved Uncle Gene.
My mother came from a large family, and they always had family reunions, oftentimes out at our farm. And Uncle Gene and Uncle Will would bring down these cars, and they'd say, "Now don't touch it, don't touch it." You know, leave fingerprints. They had to sell them. Oh, dear.
All right, well, thank you so much, Esther,
Well,
for
this has been
sharing
fun.
some of those memories with us.
It's been fun.
At this point, Bill has a few songs that he's gonna sing for you, for us, Bill. So we'll let Bill take over here.
Couldn't
Do you want me to turn your chair around a little bit?
Yeah.
Yeah, just walk over there and I'll turn it.
We get it.